Hi, my name's Patrick from Banana for Scale Wargaming. This is
Neil.
Okay, so first off, we're going to be playing Custodes versus Necrons. Okay, so I'm playing Custodes, Neil's playing his Necrons, and we're going to play the beta FAQ rules. So playing the FAQ rules and also the beta rules as well. Just want to have a little quick discussion about the beta rules, because obviously we touched on it with the last bat rep that I did. We just want to talk about the deep strike rule, and something that I think that could be made better from having played a couple of games so as they've said, first turn you can't deep strike unless it's in your own deployment zone. But I think if you go second on the first turn, you should be allowed to deep strike anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Because I think this allows for board control, which I think is a big issue,
especially in competitive play, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think if you can deep strike if you go first and you deep strike loads of stuff up and you pin someone into their deployment zone, that's when you can really just stop someone's game in the first turn. Whereas if you in that first turn all you can do is move up, then that person that has the second turn gets to move up and get some board control, and they can drop in their stuff.
To be quite fair though, like I play Tyranids, and you know, I love my Flyrants jumping in first turn on the Alpha Strike, but you know, it encourages more tactical play.
Yeah.
You know, board control is key.
Yeah.
If you can deploy and move correctly in that first turn, you're pretty much preventing the optimum deep strikes anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives you that chance, if you're going first, it gives you that chance to stop them when they do this person on the second turn does deep strike.
Yeah.
You can stop them being as effective.
Exactly.
And then the person that goes second, it doesn't really matter in terms of whether they deep strike, because the first person's already moved. And it also then makes it a bit more tactical because in 8th edition, when I don't ever see anyone say, oh yeah, I want to go second. Because why would you? There's no advantage, tactical advantage.
Oh, you see it everywhere, don't you? There's such a big onus on the first turn.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not being funny, a lot of games I've played with my Tyranids, if I'm going first, you pretty much might as well finish the game there and then, unless it's, you know, obviously...
Yeah, depending on deployment, depending on
Exactly.
certain things.
Exactly.
But yeah, it can quite often finish a game very, very early.
Yeah.
And I think then it becomes like, oh, do I want to go second? Do I want to go first? Like tactically, you know, and it makes it a lot better, I think, in terms of that. Because as it stands now, with no one being able to deep strike first turn, you still want to go first.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change that. So I think that's an idea.
Opens the length of the game as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy quick fire games, but sometimes the most enjoyable in the end of the day are those that last the 4 or 5, and you're looking for those,
and it's
like
really
Maelstrom or war game, you're looking for those tactical objective cards.
Yeah.
You know, and you need those to win you the game. You know, it just encourages good play and tactics.
Definitely agree. If you guys think you can see a flaw in what I've said about the person who goes second being able to deep strike wherever they want, obviously comment and tell me. I might not have thought it all the way through. Maybe there's something glaringly obvious that I'm missing, which would give them a massive advantage. But let us know in the comments. Also, just wanted to touch on the Battleforged brothers, I think it is.
Or sisters, should we say.
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on this in terms of, I can completely understand why they've done it to stop the suit detachments of like Celestine and Guilliman and that sort of thing. But I really feel like they should do some sort of keyword for like Imperial agents such as Sisters of Silence. And I know they have done this thing where you can take 3 lots of Sisters of Silence in a Vanguard detachment without a HQ and you don't get a CP. When are you ever going to do that? Why would you want to take that? Like, I just think that, for instance, it's wasted. And I think with Custodes, something I have done when I've played, for instance, if I know I'm playing or going up against a heavy Cypher army, I've taken Inquisitor Greyfax, a couple of units of Sisters of Silence, and an Assassin. And I feel like that's how they're meant to be used. They're meant to be used as extras to an Imperial army, and I feel like I just feel like all of those, you know, the Inquisition, the Assassins, Sisters of Silence, Astra Telepathica, they're just not going to be used.
I can appreciate and understand where GW are trying to come from, right? So they're trying to encourage players to use the same armies, rather than going for these soup armies where you're picking the optimum choices from each army within the Imperium, Chaos or what have you, rather than, you know, having Sisters of Battle, Reboot Guilliman and then loads of Space Marines. You know, I just personally, I like playing a single faction in my army. You know, I think it's good for the game, but I can appreciate where GW are trying to hit. But maybe like they said, you know, they're open to comments. They're expecting some feedback, and hopefully,
and that's exactly, you know,
it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, and so, you know, I always want to play, if I'm playing Custodes, I always want it to be the main force Custodes, and obviously I don't want to mix anything in my detachments, because then I haven't got a 4 up in Von, I've got a 5 up in Von, so you do get that thing. But it would be nice to have the option to take those other units in a separate detachment, which is what I feel like how GW wanted it to be played, that you take some extra Imperium in a separate detachment, and these are like your Imperial agents, these are your extras. You know, you're not going to take an army of Assassins, and I mean, you could take an army of Inquisition, but it would, I don't think it would be great. And the same with the Sisters, you know, and don't get me wrong, GW know more than I do what they're doing in the future. They might be bringing out a whole big list for the Sisters, so they're going to be used, and there might be a codex coming out, and there might be loads of new models, and they might have a brilliant army coming. But for now, I feel like they could change this to use them, to make them more usable, should we say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's number 3 rule, right?
Yeah, so we're obviously playing the number of 3 rule. I think it's a fantastic rule. I think it's really good in terms of just stopping, you know, because you do get strong units in armies. Flyrants, yeah, obviously. And it's one of those things, you know, it's a strong unit. You've either got to put the points up massively or stop someone, which they obviously did put the points up on the wings, didn't they?
Oh, massively.
Yeah. And
which is fair.
And Biovores went up as well, didn't they?
Biovores, they should have done as well.
Yeah, when, you know, they were way too cheap for what they were.
But however, they were cheap, but with the name of type of 3 rule they come out, it does limit you quite considerably. Especially when you're trying to
being able to spam detachments.
Spam brigade, the spam detachments, you know.
Yeah.
I think in brigade I can get for like 650 prior to the FAQ. You know, it's taking it out the window, but you know, I can understand, and as a new Tyranny player, I thought they were very strong, quite strong actually.
Yeah.
Considering, but
I mean, obviously I've played Tyrannies quite a lot, and the Biovores caused me a lot of problems, and you know, we spoke afterwards, and quite often it was like, Biovores need to go up in points, you know, it was that thing. But so the rule of 3 I think is a great idea. It just limits that people taking that good unit just over and over and over again, and you're just facing the same thing over and over again. And also thematically, you know, would you have 5 Tyrants and 12 Biovores in one arm, and just that's it? And thematically it was it, but when you're playing tournaments or things like that, you're playing to win, and I understand you're going to take what you can to win. So what we'll do is we'll be back in a second, and we'll go over my Custodes list. Obviously we've got it here. We'll go over that, and we'll talk through what I've got and what I've chosen to take. Okay, so we have 2,000 points of Adeptus Custodes. So I have a Battalion detachment and an Outrider detachment. So go for the Battalion detachment. We've got 3 units of 3 Guardian Spears. Unfortunately, these have the shield, Storm Shield, and Sentinel swords, but I'm playing them with spears. I have the Vexilla Magnifica as an elite choice. which the Magnifica gives the -1 to hit for any units within 6 inches of that.
You'll be needing that.
Yeah. And then I have my Warlord, which is a shield captain on jet bike. He has the Orikan, so giving him the free up invuln and allowing him to reroll failed charges. And he also has the Warlord trait Superior Creation, which gives him the 5-up Feel No Pain. I then have shield captain in Terminator armor with the Castellan Axe, and he also has a Misericordia. So does the Warlord has a Misericordia, and my other HQ has a Misericordia.
FAQ?
No. So they're all 4 points. Depths Custodes didn't get any points increase in the FAQ.
That's a shame.
And then the Vexilla also has a Castellan Axe as well, although he's just not showing his holding one. So that is my battalion detachment. So my 2 HQs, the 3 troop choices, and then an elite choice. And then for my outrider detachment, I have another shield captain on jet bike who I've used 1 command point to open the vaults, and I've given him the Eagle's Eye, which gives him the free up invuln as well. Okay. So both the shield captain and jet bikes are running the salvo launchers. All of the other bikes, so I've got 3 units of bikes, 2 of 3 and 1 is 4. They're all running Hurricane bolters, just standard like that, and obviously they've all got their lances. And yeah, that's I think that's pretty much, obviously with this, all the bikes and infantry choices get objective secured, and they all get the 4-up invuln because it's a both detachments are all Adeptus Custodians. But yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm hoping I've got the mobility and the durability to withstand the firepower that I'm going to take from the Necron army. And then it's just, my biggest worry is if I've got enough firepower to take out the Necrons, especially with the reanimation and stuff. So it's whether I've got enough to take out a unit in 1 turn, and I'm just not sure if I've got enough firepower, range, and that type of thing. But you know, it's also, we're playing a Maelstrom of War, so we haven't decided which one we're going to roll off on that, but so it's going to be an objective game.
Well, you've got mobility, you've got tactical secure, you know, you know, Maelstrom of War, tactical objective game, you know, you're going to have that advantage straight away.
Yeah, so you know, obviously you've got your big numbers of troops there in terms of warriors.
And I'm playing Sautekh too, so I'll be looking to advance those robots.
Exactly. So it's going to be a tough game. So what we'll do is we'll be back in a second, and we'll look through the Necron army. Okay, so we have the Necrons. Before we start, I just want to say I forgot to say about how many command points I got. So with the new command points from the FAQ, I had 5 from the battalion, 1 from the outrider detachment, plus 3 for being battle forged. So I had 9 command points overall. So I'll hand you over to Neil to go through the Necrons.
It's also, before I get into the Necrons actually, that was another point we should have raised really on the FAQ, was the command points.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm completely in support of the increasing the brigade and the battalion, increasing it by 9 to 12 for the brigade.
Yeah, and then 3 to 5 for
it just encourages people to actually put an army on the table.
Yeah, it encourages you to bring those troops, and I think that it's, you know, it definitely affected my list today.
Yeah.
I've decided, like, I was going to take a outrider and a vanguard, and I changed it to an outrider and a battalion because those extra CP, it makes it worth taking. Also, I like the fact you're getting more command points because it allows you to use more stratagems, and especially for something like Custodes, who the stratagems is one of the things they need to help their army, and normally you don't have enough command points.
Well, true, and it's also giving you that pool of command points which you can actually use the higher higher price command points, stratagems that you wouldn't necessarily use because you'd only have 3, 5 maximum.
100%. Like so, you know, you wouldn't really. I mean, before that, most of the time I was only ever looking at 1 command point stratagems. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
It may be the odd two if it was really, really good, but. Yeah, I totally agree, and I think that's a positive change, definitely.
Command re-rolls each turn. Yeah, great, right? So yeah, that's a very good change. So here's my Necrons, 2,000 points on the nose. Apologies, they're not all painted, but I am a weekend gamer and I'm away during the week, so do apologise. But this is what I have on show for you today. That dynastic code is Sautekh, so I'll hope to counter the movement that your army list is offering, so hopefully advancing and not getting penalised for my shooting, which I think, given the game of playing Maelstrom War, tactical objectives, I'll feel quite beneficial.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, when you can advance those warriors and you can still shoot, although it turns to assault, it's still, you know, you're still getting with a blob of 20 shots off, and you can still take an objective, you know? Yeah.
So I'll run you through the list, and then I'll identify the relics and the warlord traits. So I'll start from left to right. So I've got a 10 blob of warriors. I've got the Forge World Tesseract Arc. This, I feel, some people like it, some people don't. Personally, I really like it. I think it's quite a durable unit and quite versatile as well, considering, you know, you can manage blob armies, you know, horde armies such as Orcs, Imperial Guard, and then, like today, potentially, if the dice go in my favour, I could take out a unit of bikes in one shot. So very much looking forward to seeing how that gets along. Just a FYI, this is a Ghost Arc for today. I did attempt to build one up last night, but as probably all Necron players know who have Ghost Arcs, they're a pain in the arse to build. So
takes a while, yeah.
So Pat's kindly let me use one of his, and that's a proxy, and that's got 10 warriors in. I've gone for 5 Scarab bases, an Overlord, a big blob of 20, which hopefully is the bane of Pat's life in this game.
Sure it will be.
So yeah, you know, big, large, durable unit. I've also got, I will be moving them up the tail very closely to Orikan the Diviner. He's going to be my Warlord. The relic I've given him is the Veil of Darkness. And the relic is the, the Warlord trait is the Hyperlogical Strategist. So hopefully
it's good getting them command points on a 5 up, yeah.
Yeah. Also I have a Canoptek Spider with the claws, so I can heal and fix and repair those big units. I've got the vehicles in the back. I've got 2 Triarch Stalkers, both with heavy Gauss flares, Gauss guns, whatever you want to call them.
Heavy Gauss cannons, yeah.
Heavy Gauss cannons, and hopefully, you know, allocate the units which I want to concentrate on in the early turns, get them down, and hopefully they'll work wonders for me. Actually, I think give me the range, then, you know, slowly move up with the warriors, right?
And it'll give you the obviously. They won't get the dynastic code because Triarch stuff doesn't get the dynastic code, but you know, anything that they attempt to fire at, you're going to be then re-rolling 1s for anything else in the army. You know?
Exactly. So that's why I put 2 on there. It's giving me plenty of choice. So, you know, given an example, fire them at 2 separate units of bikes. Advance these bad boys up, get them in rapid fire.
Yeah.
Well, get them in assault range, and then fire away.
And then you're re-rolling 1s, which
exactly.
Great.
And then I've gone for probably one of my new favourite units in the 8th edition. I didn't use them that much in 7th, but I think they've come their own for 8th edition. I think they're a really tasty unit. Yes, they've had a bit of a bump from the index to the codex.
Yeah, quite a big bump. I think it's gone up 20 points or just under 20 points. Yeah. Which, you know, I mean, they've got a 3-up invuln. Yeah. Like, that does make them an extremely good unit.
And they're hitting 2 damage these days.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so it's -2 now and 2 damage. So yeah, I mean they are.
The Space Marine killers. The Space Marine killers. Yeah. Primaris
Terminator killers. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we want, right? Yeah. That's what we want. And then I've gone for the Annihilation Barge at the end, just to give that mobility with a bit of firepower.
What's the Annihilation Barge running? Is it Tesla and a Gauss cannon?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I was going to go.
And the Gauss cannon's been improved, same as on the destroyers. It's now strength 6, heavy 3, rather than strength 5, heavy 2.
Exactly.
Which, you know, is obviously
it's beneficial when you're playing Custodes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, don't get me wrong. If I wasn't playing Custodes today, I would most definitely be running a Tesla army. But given my enemy,
you need some AP.
Exactly.
Make me use that 4-up invuln rather than my 2-up save.
So basically, we will put the army lists in the description below. But as for that, let's let good sounds roll, mate.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the board. We're going to roll off for the mission we're playing, and we'll roll off for the deployment. We'll come back, let you know what we've done, show you the board before we deploy. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we have the board all set up. We have rolled off on the chapter approved Maelstrom of War missions, and we got Race to Victory. So you're getting 3 objective cards each turn, a minimum of, and the first person to complete 10 objective cards gets 3 victory points extra. Okay, we also rolled off on the deployment, and we got frontline assault. So we're going from long board edge to long board edge. We've got the objective markers set out. And the dice set out for when we deploy. So we're going to go into deployment and show you how we set up, and then we will roll off to see who goes first. Okay, so the Custodes have deployed along this edge. We have 4 bikes and a shield captain and Terminator armor in deep strike. We paid 1 command point for the bikes, so we're down to 7 command points.
Cheeky bastard.
The Necrons have deployed like so. There's a lot of stuff on the Necron side. Will the Custodes have enough firepower to take it out? Okay, Custodes finished deploying first, as you'd expect. So they're going to get +1 to their roll. So we're going to go into the roll off. So I've got 5, 4. So Custodes go first, unless we seize.
Never.
No seize. Okay. So we're going to go into Custodes turn 1. Okay, Custodes turn 1 movement. So the tapped objective cards, we got Big Game Hunter, which I don't think will be achievable this turn. Secure objective 3, which is right in the other corner down there, and we got secure objective 6, which is just here. So we've literally moved these bikes and shield captain up. We've moved these guard up. The Vexilla up, we've kept these here, securing objective 6. We've moved these guard up, the shield captain, and these bikes over here. So we're not going to have a psychic phase because there's no psychers. So we're going to go into shooting. So the end of Custodes turn 1. we're not in any charge range, so we just done some shooting. We shot the Hurricane bolters into these Wraiths, and we took one out and then took one down a wound. We shot the salvo missile launcher into the Tesseract Arc and missed. We shot these guys, these 4 here, into these massive blob of Necron Warriors just because they had nothing else to shoot at, and took one out. Then the Shield Captain fired his salvo missile launcher into this Annihilation Barge and done nothing. In fact, well, you saved. Two wounds went through and you saved. So we fired all of the Hurricane bolters into it and we actually took it down 5 wounds, which was quite good. And then we also fired one of these which was in range, and you saved.
Yeah.
So Neil done some good saves. We're not really close enough to be able to do any real damage.
You've moved really well though. You've moved really well. You know, you position yourself well, I think. You know, especially those bikes, you know, you've taken out of consideration for the majority of my army, which is in the centre. So
yeah, I mean, I'm going to get shot at. It's just a matter of trying to minimise that shooting. As far as cards go, we did get secure objective 6. So we get a victory point for that. So we're up to 1 victory point. And so we're going to go into Necrons turn 1. Okay, Necrons turn 1 movement. Move the race up and advance them with, and Neil's planning the stratagem where you can charge after advancing.
Adaptive subordinates or
subroutines.
Subroutines.
He's moved the Scarabs across just to deny the deep strike. He's moved the Tesseract Arc up. These warriors moved up and they have been given My Will Be Done. He's moved up the Ghost Arc plus Orikan and the Overlord. All of these have moved up. This big line of warriors, because the cards, we'll just run through his cards quickly actually as we're talking. Secure objective 1, which he's moved up to secure. And Code of Combat. Which is score 1 victory point if a Necron character kills an enemy character in the fight phase. And Slaughter Live, and he just has to destroy one enemy unit. So he done living metal on this Annihilation Barge. He then moved the spider and it together, and then done the spider's heal basically, and he healed it another 2 wounds. So he's got it back up to 6, which is pretty handy. He's left the Stalkers where they are. There's no need to move them, and he has left his 10 warriors in this Ghost Arc, ready to come out at a later point. So that whole Necron line has just moved up, ready to start firing, and let's hope the Custodes can do enough saves to be able to do some stuff in turn 2. Okay, Necron turn 1 shooting. So we had these Necron warriors, this Tesseract Arc, and this Triarch Stalker, all fired into these bikes, and they took 1 bite down, 1 wound. We had this Ghost Arc, the majority of these warriors, the Triarch Stalker and the Annihilation Barge shoot into this Custodian Guard squad here, and they took 1 of them out. And then some of these warriors here at this end fired into this bike squad, and they took 2 wounds off of 1 of the bikes. So we are now going into the charge and fight phase. Okay, end of Necron turn 1, the assault. So 4 Wraiths charged in. They took out one of my bikes, and then we took out 2 Wraiths in return. We also got secure. He got secure objective 1 for the Necrons. The other 2 he didn't get. We're going to roll for 2 command points to see if he can get them back and 5 up. No, he doesn't get them back. So we are going into Custodes. Turn 2. Okay, Custodes turn 2, movement phase. So we got rid of Big Game Hunter just because we felt like it was going to take us a while to get. And then we drew Advance and Kingslayer. Kingslayer is probably about as unlikely as Big Game Hunter this turn. So hopefully we'll get secure objective 3, which we've pretty much got already. So we've left these all in combat, including the Shield Captain. We've dropped in the Shield Captain and Terminator armor, just there. We've dropped these 4 bikes in here, see if we can take out this Ghost Dart. Move these guys up, move these up and the Vexilla up. We've moved these guys up as well. And then the Shield Captain's moved up, and so there's this unit of bikes. So we're going to go into the shooting phase and see if we can take out a few Necrons. Okay, end of Custodes turn 2 shooting. So we shot all of these, this, and these, and 2 of them into the blob of 20 warriors, and we took it out. We then fired 2 of these bikes into Doomsday Ark and took it down 2 wounds?
You did
3 wounds.
3 wounds.
3 wounds.
From 14 to 11,
yeah. And we fired the grenade launcher and axe from the Terminator into the Tesseract Ark and took it down 1 wound.
Yeah, you did. Well
done. So we're going to go into charge and fight phase. Okay, so end of Custodes turn 2. Pretty big round. So we made the charge in with the Shield Captain and Terminator armor. He did lose 2 wounds to Overwatch, and he took 4 wounds off of the Ark, taking it down to 5 wounds. I failed the charge here, and from Overwatch took 1 wound. Over here, we did take a wound to Overwatch, or 2 wounds to Overwatch, I think, actually. But we took out the Annihilation Barge with these 2, and then with this one we hit, and we took 4 wounds off the Stalker, which I'm sure is going to be healed this turn by that spider sitting behind it. And then back over here, we managed to kill the Wraiths. They did, before they died, took a couple of wounds off of this biker here. Well, they could have killed it, didn't they? Oh yeah, they could have killed it. I actually spent a command point to re-roll and kept that alive because they do 2 damage a piece. So I did re-roll and keep that alive, which is definitely the way forward when it's a 90-point model. So yeah, and I scored secure objective 3. Didn't get the other 2, but yeah, that's moving into Necrons. Turn 2. Okay, Necron turn 2 movement. So the Scarabs have moved up. These warriors got out of the Ghost Ark. The Tesseract Ark moved over there. Orikan and the Overlord moved up. These warriors moved up. And then over here, the Triarch Stalkers, one of them stayed in combat. The other one's here, and the spider. He got living metal, and the spider got another 2 wounds back, so he's up to 9. Living metal on here went up to 12. Living metal on the Tesseract Ark took him up to 6. So the Necrons are regenerating. Let's go into the shooting phase and see how many more I can take out of the Custodes. Okay, end of Necron turn 2 shooting. So these warriors shot into this Terminator, took him down 2 wounds. These warriors, the Ghost Arc, the Triarch Stalker, and the Tesseract Arc all shot into this unit of bikes and took one of them out. And the other Triarch Stalker is locked in combat, so I couldn't shoot. So we are now going into Necron charge and fight phase. Okay, so end of Necron turn 2. They charged the Scarabs, the Warriors, and Orikan the Diviner into my Shield Captain and Terminator armor. Neil used Stratagem to blow up a Scarab, which took off 2 wounds. He was on 3, it took him down to 2 wounds, and then the Scarabs attacked and took him and killed him. I used 2 command points to use a stratagem called Even in Death, so character when he dies can immediately fight back. I hit Orikan the Diviner and I killed him, which meant I got Slay the Warlord, and I also got Kingslayer, which is D3. So I'm going to roll the D3 on camera for you. And I got 1. Okay, so 1 extra victory point for that.
5.
Yep, so I'm up to 5, and I got Slay the Warlord. So he charged his other warriors into these bikes. They lost 3 to Overwatch, and then they lost 7 to being attacked. He charged his Triarch Stalker, both Triarch Stalker. One was already in combat. He charged the other one in, which he killed one of my bikes with the Triarch Stalkers, and so they're all in combat. Although this one's not in combat anymore, but that's in combat with them there.
Big John's just arrived at up.
Here he is. John Lee's arrived, and that's the end. Okay, Custodes movement for turn 3. We've moved the Shield Captain and these 2 bikes up. We've moved these 3 bikes up. We've moved these 2 Custodes, the Vixilla up. And we've advanced these out of the deployment zone because we need to get out of the deployment zone for an objective card. We've moved these 3 up to get line of sight onto that Triarch Stalker. We moved the Shield Captain and Warlord over to defend objective 3, and these 2 have remained in combat. Now, cards wise, we've got Advance, we've got Scour the Skies, so I've got Destroy something, a unit with the fire keyword, and we've got Defend Objective 3. So we are going to go into Custodes shooting. Okay, so we've wrapped the shooting and the assault and charge phase into one. So the shooting, we shot at these warriors, we then charged them and took the rest out, so we cleared 10 warriors there. And then over here, Neil used another stratagem to blow up a Scarab base and do some mortal wounds, which he did. Over here, we shot into the Tesseract Arc with most of the stuff here. Took it down a couple of wounds. We then charged, hoping to destroy it to get Scour the Skies, but we ended up only taking it down another wound. We did get Advance, which gives us 1 victory point, and we're on the way to defend Objective 3. We could get that at the end of the Necron turn. These advanced, they didn't do anything. These and this guy here all shot into, oh no, he shot into the arc. Took down, I think, a wound. These shot into the Stalker, didn't do anything. The Shield Captain had a fight with the Overlord, took 3 wounds off him. The Overlord didn't do anything back. These guard took 5 wounds off of the Ghost Arc, and he didn't do anything back. And then over here, the bikes took 4 wounds off of the Stalker, and they didn't do anything back. He didn't do anything back. So we're going to be going into Necron turn 3. Necron turn 3 movement. So the Tesseract Arc just sort of bumped over here. Got Living Metal back 1 wound, up to 3. The Ghost Arc went up to 8. And moved back, dropped back a bit. The Triarch Stalkers
Stay where they are. So this one's still in combat. The spider moved round. He got living metal and D3, which he got 3 wounds back from the spider, so he's back up to 9. And this Stalker stayed where he was. So we are in the Scarabs, and the bikes here stayed in combat. So we're going into the shooting phase for Necron turn 3. Okay, Necron turn 3 shooting. So the Triarch Stalker, the Ghost Arc, and the Tesseract Arc shot into these bikes here and took 2 of them out. So it's just that unit's just down to 1 bike. We're going to go into charge and assault phase. Okay, end of Necron turn 3. Do you score any cards now?
I didn't pick one out. Advance.
She didn't score. Okay, so the Scarabs had a go over here, but they didn't do anything, and we wiped the 2 Scarab bases out. My shield captain killed the Overlord. They had a little fight over here with the guard, the Custodians, and the Arc, Tesseract Arc, and we took 1 wound for Tesseract Arc. They didn't do anything to us. Over here, no wounds were done to the Custodians, but we did take out the spider, so hopefully they won't be regenerating as much. We can actually try and take them out. So we are going into Custodes turn 4. We did get 2 points for defend objective 3, which we got up the other end there. The shield captain has held that. And we've still got Scale of Skies, but we're very hopeful to get that in the turn 4. So we'll go into movement. Okay, Custodes turn 4 movement. So we picked some cards. So we still had Scale of Skies, kept that one. We've got defend objective 4, and we've got domination. And domination, because of my speedy bikes, is feasible. So I've moved over to there. Moved on to this one here. Moved this back to claim that.
You bought God of War yet?
We advanced these up to claim that. We moved these back to claim this one. And we moved it's kept this shield captain there. And we've got defend objective 4, so we'll leave them there and we'll claim that as well. So we are going to go into the shooting phase and see if we can see what we can take out. Okay, end of Custodes shooting and charge and assault. So we shot everything we could into this Ghost Arc and took it down to 3. We then charged the Celebrator into the Tesseract Arc. We killed it. It then exploded and done 3 mortal wounds to this unit and 3 mortal wounds to this unit. We then had a fight over here, and we took the Stalker down 6 wounds, and then he took, with the 2 Stalkers back, he took out the other bike and this one down to 1 wound. So I got Scale the Skies for killing the Tesseract Arc, which is 1 point, and I got Domination, so I'm going to get D3 plus 3, which I rolled a 6 for. So that would be 6, 7 points, so I'm up to 15. So it's 15 points to the Necrons, 2 points. And we're going into, I think Neil was hoping to table me, so we're going into Necron turn 4. So Necron shooting and, right, end of Necron turn 4. They shot into here with the Triarch Stalker and the Ghost Arc, managed to save everything. And then attacked into this bike, saved, I attacked back and killed one of the Stalkers. I also got Defend Objective 4, which gives me another 2 points. So I'm up to 17. And we're going into Custodes turn 5. Okay, Custodes turn 5 movement. We've moved things up and around just to keep close this net in. We've kept some units on objectives because we have Warzone secure, which we need to hold 3 objectives at the end of the turn. We've got Defend Objective 6 and we'd eliminate threats where we just have to destroy a unit to get a victory point, or 3 to get D3. We can't actually physically do that because there's only 2 units left, so we'll we'll go into the shooting phase and see what. Okay, end of Custodes, turn 5. So we shot everything we could into the Ghost Ark and destroyed it, and it didn't blow up. We then charged the Shield Captain and the Guard into the last Stalker, and we managed to take it out. So we finished the game on around 20 victory points to the Necrons 2, and tabled them. So it was a pretty convincing victory. Go the Emperor's bodyguards.
Okay, so we're going to do a little post-game talk and talk through what we thought worked well, what we thought didn't work well. In terms of, obviously it was fairly convincing at the end, Custodes' victory. And we're just going to go through and talk well, from my point of view, obviously the bikes are awesome, as we know. I wouldn't be worth taking a Custodes list without bikes.
No.
You just haven't got the movement.
Yeah. To be honest, if you don't have those bikes, I could have. Well, to be honest with you, in hindsight, I think I picked the wrong Dynasty code.
Yeah.
I just wanted to try Orikan the Diviner and hopefully see him turn into a beast, but unfortunately he didn't. Should have stayed put a little bit, let you come to me rather than go for that objective 1 at the start. But I think I need to get new hands. The dice rolling was shit.
Yeah,
shocking.
I mean your first turn shooting was horrendous. It was really bad. Like the Stalkers, I mean really the Stalkers actually done some damage at the end, but I mean most of the game they didn't really do much.
No.
And I feel like, I mean, the Annihilation Barge didn't really do anything. I don't think it did anything.
Well, Annihilation Barge for me was a waste of points.
Yeah.
I think I'd have been, in hindsight, better off.
How much is an Annihilation Barge?
153, I think, base, 154.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much prefer to take 3 destroyers.
Yeah.
You could take 3 destroyers for that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't have them built at the time.
No.
Neil's still building his Necron army up, so probably limited yourself with choice a little bit. As far as, I mean, the Hurricane Bolters were brilliant. They made quite short work of the Warriors.
Yeah, but the Warriors did their task they was there for.
Oh yeah.
Concentrate fire.
Yeah, and I mean I had to concentrate on them because I knew you had the Ghost Ark, so every time I sort of really went for a Warrior squad, I knew that I had to put everything in to take it out, which means that the rest of your army isn't getting shot, which is good. Yeah, I think that worked well. I mean, I took the Guard, the 3 units of 3. They held some objectives. They didn't do overly a lot, but they were there to make up the battalion.
Yeah.
Didn't need command points, and I feel like I used some stratagems well.
Yeah. Very well.
The evening death stratagem was massive.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, to be quite honest, it was overkill by me.
Yes.
Wanting to make sure I killed that turn Lord.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, yeah.
I got to use the stratagem and managed to get that off.
And you know that's the benefit of the new command point system with FAQ.
Yeah.
Fair dues.
Yeah, I mean, because think back before I would have had 6, 7 command points, and I mean, I had 9. That 2 extra just literally allows you just to play that like with a little bit more freely with stratagems and things like that.
And you still have 1 spare at the end.
Yeah.
You could have actually not used the 2nd relic.
Yeah.
So you know you could have ended up with 2 additional.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't even use. He never even got my Warlord never even got shot the whole time because I had the 3-up invuln and the 5-up feel no pain. So I think Neil thought that his shooting was better targeted elsewhere.
Yeah.
Really. Obviously the bike's done well in combat as well. Triarch Stalker's actually done a lot better in combat than I thought they were going to.
They were stubborn, yeah, but it was just your high
damage. They took a couple of bikes out as well, didn't they?
Yeah, high damage weapons.
Yeah.
Close combat weapons, so I was able to shield them off with quantum shielding.
Yeah.
Which turned out quite okay.
I reckon you negated half the wounds or half the damage I got through.
Yeah,
you negated it with quantum shielding.
Probably. Yeah, I'd say so.
It was really good. Like, you know, every time I was rolling a sort of 3-2, half of them Neil was getting 2s and 1s to negate it, which was really, really good. What did you think about the Wraiths? Worth their points?
Wraiths, I was unfortunate with the Wraiths.
Yeah.
I think I didn't really get to have a chance. I was hoping one would survive.
So you
use the
reanimation, the Canoptek reanimation, which you can do once.
And maybe I was looking to hold them off going into the second turn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they died, and I wasn't able to utilise that.
Yeah.
And that flank came and let go really, and.
Yeah, once the Wraiths had gone on that flank, then it opened it up.
But to be fair, we have highlighted one of our favourite units of the army here in front of us. But to be honest with you, the Scarabs, they did hold off the deep strike at the back.
Yeah.
So they limited your options there. But then
and
when
you
it came
to mortal wounds.
Yeah, the mortal wounds with that stratagem.
It's where the stratagem is where you when you pile in you can use one base. You can use a stratagem for one command point to blow it up on a 2+. It blows up, and you do D3 mortal wounds, which is really good. And that you took my Terminator down to 1 wound doing that because he had 3. You took 2 off him with that, and then killed him with the other Scarabs in attack. And that's when I used obviously the evening death stratagem. But yeah, they were effective, you know, especially when you take them up against something. If you can explode 1 per turn into something doing 3 D3 more wounds, they're only 13 points a model. It's worth it.
Yeah, easy. Like you could run quite easy. Like I would happily talking about replacing the points of the Annihilation Barge. I'd have quite happily filled it out with Scarabs.
Yeah.
And I may consider.
And they're annoying because I mean they're 3 wounds a base. You've got to take 3 wounds off. It's fire that you've got to put into something that you don't really want to put into, but you know you have to get rid of them.
Yeah.
To get to other units, or just stop them like harassing you or keeping objectives. Because they can just sit there and sit on objectives, and for 13 points a base, they're worth there to sit there and sit on objectives. You know.
Definitely.
They're a good little unit.
Yeah, mobile.
Yeah, they're mobile. Yeah, very mobile.
Yeah. So that's something to improve the list straight away. I'll probably not take the 2 Triarch Stalkers.
No.
But, you know, like Pat said earlier in the video, not everything's built in my army. So, unfortunately, I don't really get the time.
The trouble is as well with the Triarch Stalkers, for instance, what would be great for the Triarch Stalkers is to play Nihiliac. Can't remember what it's called. But it's basically, if it doesn't move, it re-rolls 1s. Now, they have to shoot to get stuff to re-roll 1s, so they don't re-roll 1s themselves. And because they don't get the Dynastic code, it's then like, I could take a Triarch Stalker for 171 points, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or you could take a Doomsday Ark for 193, where you do get to re-roll 1s. You're getting D6 shots instead of 2.
Yeah.
You know, and you're then like, okay, Doomsday Ark looks like the more viable option, you know? And not only that, the Doomsday Ark's got the D6 gun, and it's got the 10 Gauss flower arrays, the same as what Ghost Ark has got, which is good for when things try and charge you for Overwatch. Also, just to throw out if things start getting close, it's another gun. And I just think the Stalkers are now not worth their points.
They're nearly Sisters of Silence, aren't they? They're nearly becoming redundant.
Yeah, because they're not getting the Dynastic code, and then they're only getting, you know, you've got the twin heavy Gauss, which is what most people would take on it. I mean, the heat ray did get better, but still. And I mean, you're looking at 2 shots. I think that the heat ray is D3, but you're averaging 2 shots, and they don't get many through.
It's medium range as well, so it's like 36 inches.
Yeah, 36 inches
on the Gauss cannon. Anyway,
yeah, and the heat ray is only 24.
Exactly.
So it's not exactly super long range. Whereas Doomsday Ark, 72-inch range. You know. You put that anywhere and that's going to hit to the other side of the board. So yeah, I think that the Custodes were just very well. You didn't roll well, and they're just a durable army in terms of 4-up in bonds, 2-up save. I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually think Necrons are better against the Custodes because they get -1 on pretty much most weapons.
Yeah.
I actually think Mefrit might not have been a bad one to play against them because of the minus.
So, to be honest.
Yeah, because you'd have got the minus, because the Custodes want to get in close anyway.
Yeah.
So the -2, it's making them go up to that 4-up invuln rather than the 3-up. That's that few more wounds than we get through. And then even if you're running Tester, they're going to get -1 in that half range.
Yeah.
And it making, because I mean, what, you probably got 1 wound, 1 damage through the whole time of a Tester, where I rolled a 1 once.
Yeah.
You know? So when you're playing Custodes and they've got 2-up save, you need some AP, you know. You need some AP to make them miss the saves, really.
Yeah.
But the Tesseract Dark was
stubborn.
Yeah. It was hard to take out. It was
taking more than it was giving, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, because of your rolls weren't as good as they should have been. You were definitely rolling below average on firepower for this. But it's a great unit, I think. I mean, to charge it, you have to roll 3d6 and you have to take away the highest one. So, I mean, quite often you're not going to make the charge if you've got a 9 charge. I was actually pretty lucky with my roll. I got
2 6s and a 5.
Yeah, 2 6s and a 5. So, 11-inch charge. So that was very one of those things. The dice gods were in my favour today, definitely.
Usually.
But yeah, I think it was overall a good game, a good test for you. It's the first time you played Necrons in 8?
First time I played Necrons in 8.
Yeah, so it's the first time you've
played
played.
Apologies, I played them Index, literally as 8th dropped.
Ah, okay,
yeah. Got rid of the army.
Ah, yeah.
So.
Okay, so yeah, so that's, you know, first time Neil's played him. Obviously, he wants to test out some stuff. You've got a lot of Wraiths to build, haven't you? And
a lot of Wraiths.
Other things that he's got some ideas for what he's going to play. So it'll be interesting to see what Neil does and see his next back rep and see how his Necron has changed. Obviously, my Custodes list won't change too much because I haven't got very many options. But you know, I think I've tried a few different things. We've used the Knight. We've had the Sisters back when we could do that. The Inquisition, the Inquisitor Greyfax with the Sisters and the Assassin.
Well, they're redundant against a non-psychic army anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I mean, the only one out of them I'd take would be the Assassin.
Yeah.
If I was playing non-psychic, which I'd then just have to pay a command point to have, I suppose. Which is better now. You've got more command points again to teach.
I think I'm just going back to the video. I think we made a mistake with the living metal on the Warlord as well. We didn't.
Should have gone up one, shouldn't
should have gone up one. Yeah. But never mind. It's not game.
On the Overlord, yeah.
It's not game changer. But
No. But yeah, so obviously for Custodes, bikes are the one. I mean,
they're the go-to unit.
Yeah.
You know, if I was to write a list, now we've only got the type of 3.
Yeah, you're going to have 3 units of bikes, and it just depends.
What's the capacity for?
6. You can have
6.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so you could be running 18 bikes, which would be horrendous.
Yeah.
But the only thing is with that, if you run bigger, it does stop your mobility in terms of being able to move them about to get objectives, because you've only got 3 units rather than but with the rule of 3 now, that's the only thing you can do. So
something I'd consider.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like the Terminators as well. I didn't play the Terminators today. I really do like the Terminators. I like the stratagems that they've got for the Terminators. There's a lot of stratagems that are specific to Terminators. Like I like Unleash the Lions, great one where you can split your Terminators up. There's the one where you can drop in and use your grenade launcher to stop people doing Overwatch to you.
Yeah.
Another great one. I mean, against Necron Warriors, that would be fabulous, you know?
Yeah.
Just stop them, stopping 20 shots coming at you basically, or 40 shots if it was above 20. So yeah, but good game, interesting. I think you obviously worked out a lot for your list. You know, like for instance, you don't want to take the Annihilation Barge probably too much.
Oh yeah, you know, I pretty much wrote this list on the back of a fag packet, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, I will. I think you'd learn a lot more from your losses than your wins.
Definitely.
And I've got plenty of units and options to build and add.
Yeah.
So watch your space for the next game.
Yeah. So we don't know what the next battle rep's going to be, but we'll hopefully won't have to wait too long for it. So we'll see you in the next one.